But we do have a few more people in the bass baritone section, so we're filling the baritones over a little bit more, and that will help as time goes on, which is good. Let me just introduce you to a couple of new people. Actually, they're kind of people who are old but new. Because they were in before. The first one being, and you know him well, Tom Brown. And the second one, I don't know, I'll say a real quick testimony here. My wife and I, when we first really started walking with the Lord, went to a marriage conference down at the church we were at in Burbank. And we didn't know anybody. And we went, it was a weekend thing where you go and try the whole thing together. And it was led by a woman by the name of Susan Oedeker. Any of you know? She was fantastic. She was fantastic. And probably the only reason we're still here 46 years later is really what she invested in us in that one weekend that we really thought was quite special. Well, her son, Jeremy, is sitting there. Jeremy's teaching over at Village Christian School. He's teaching Bible. And he was out in Chicago for about 10 years or so, something like that. And he is back with a vengeance. And so we are grateful that he is here. And, yes.
Could you have him stand? I have no idea what he looks like.
Okay, stand. I have Tom stand, but he already is standing. And then finally, returning to choir, is best known as Melody's husband, Don Ferranola. Yes. So we are grateful for our returning new people. We have a couple of new people in the sense that this is really their first time here. And I'm going to start with this young lady right down here, Bethany Boland. If you heard Todd Boland speak through the book of Isaiah, that's her daddy. You know, he teaches over there at the university. A new young man that I really enjoyed meeting over here. This is Jacob Chen. Jacob. I enjoyed Jacob quite a bit. He's a software engineer. He's got it right up in here. But he's got a very nice speaking voice. In fact, we heard him in summer choir. We've got to have you. So, but this is the first time he's really kind of ventured into the whole choral thing. So this is a new thing for him, which he's very excited about, which is good. I'm excited to have him here. Another young man, teacher, Mr. Dan Davis. Would you pride of the physics department at Canyon High School. He loves physics. Yes, he loves physics. And that's a great thing. Not everything I ever understood. He loves it. That's a great thing. Great to have you here. You're going to enjoy hearing just what God has done in some of these lives. It's really quite good. Student from the Masters, Mr. Alexander Lee. He's here. Now here's somebody who's coming back, but not from the choir. He was actually in the orchestra years ago. This is Mr. Scott Messick up here. He is very much into reusable energy, and I'm going to let him tell a story sometime soon. But it's really quite fascinating, and he's kind of doing that whole thing. We sent a summer team you send gifts to. In fact, you just sent them about $2,000 to add to their fund that they're trying to raise $1 million for, and having a kind of a central location for all the ministry stuff. part of that team sits right here, Jane Wright. Not to. And I want you to meet one of our new tenors, Vivaldi Ortega, right here. Doesn't he have a great smile? Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes.
All right. His name is Gadalti. Can you say that with me? Gadalti. But he kind of goes by G. At times. If you want to really respect him, Gadalti. But if you really just want to say hi, G, you can do that. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Oh, yeah.
You know where his name comes from?
What's that?
Where his name comes from?
Why don't you ask him?
Tell us.
First Chronicles chapter 25.
I'm sorry?
First Chronicles chapter 25.
Oh, I'm not sure that's where he's come from.
No. His name.
Whatever. You all have thrilled to the fact that Sophia and Jacob are now married. I'm thrilled to have you meet Jacob's sister, Abigail. She is a senior over there at the university and has all sorts of wonderful time that she wants to donate and give to the new students that are coming in and help them kind of through what is always a hard thing as people come into a new school and all that kind of stuff, which is really great. Finally, and certainly not least, we have another pastor in this room, Mr. Pastor Jeff Beckwith. I will say I'm about as excited about that as anything, simply because what I know Jeff brings into this room is something that you can't put a price on. And I have just felt incredibly blessed, not only to be able to work with this man, but to know that he has really carried on his shoulders much of the relocation of Grace Baptist Church, much of what we continue to do, and he continues to work with our XYZ people week after week after week. He's probably going to be visiting his son who's overseas. And then, of course, he visits Kristen, who's in Minnesota as well, like that. And he's kind of in that season of life where he wants to keep track of the kids. And Barbara says, sure, go. Anyway, those are the people who are new. And